Yo, welcome in, Sweetfield here, and I'm bringing you the dashing around shred druid build. Now, we are actually transforming into all different forms here. You're going werebear, werewolf, and human, using a little bit of everything. It's incredibly fun, and this is probably the one that I am going to go with. I love the quick movement speed. I'm probably starting out D4 with the rogue because of the quick movement speed, and I'm going to be honest, this is almost a close second. Druid's supposed to, supposedly, everyone thinks it's going to be great late game. So how fun this is to play early game, it kind of makes me excited for the Druid, to be perfectly honest. We're jumping straight in here to the skills. Of course, we're going to start off with Storm Strike. I do like Wind Shear also, because once you get up here a little bit further, we've got Wild Wind Shear right here, and you gain 3 additional spirit per monster you hit past the first. So if you come across the pack, you throw it, it hits like 8 or 10 of them, you're getting like an extra 25, 30 extra spirit on top of the 12, so like you're getting like 40 spirit on one attack when you come across. Now later on, there's other ways of getting extra spirit, so I'm actually deciding to go against this and go with something that's going to increase our damage as we play through and as we get further on in the game. So I decided to go with Storm Strike. Now this is because also a safety aspect here. You gain 25% damage reduction for 3 seconds after dealing damage with Storm Strike. See it down there right at the bottom. That is amazing. 25% damage reduction the first point you put into anything. Nice. So we're going to enhanced Storm Strike, so 15% chance to immobilize enemies for 2.5 seconds. So boom, 2 points in, and we're already getting damage reduction and possibly having a chance here to immobilize monsters for a second and a half. Now once you get down to the core skills, instantly put a point into Shred. That's the 1, 2, 3 attack. It's super cool. After 1 point in there, enhanced Shred, increased 30% attack speed and heals you. So you're already healing yourself while you're attacking and gaining spirit on certain attacks and immobilizing and damage reduction. Ton of stuff on top. And as soon as you can, Primal Shred. That makes you lunge or dash for your second and third attacks also, along with the first. So every single one of these Shred attacks, you can lunge across the map, boom, slapping monsters down super quick. Now we need another point or two here before we get down to the next one. And you can do with a couple options. You can either go gain, this one right here, Storm Strike has a 50% chance to make enemies vulnerable for 3 seconds. So you're getting that. Or you can bump up the Shred right here. We're going to go ahead and make things vulnerable with that 1 point. So now we've got all that stuff going on already, and we're down to the next one. And Blood Howl is a great skill to get as soon as you can. Go ahead and get it. Shape-shifting to Werewolf, Howl Furiously, healing you for 20% of your max life, so you could save a potion just by using that sometimes right there. Now we go, a kill reduces the cooldown for Blood Howl. Put a point into that, you're going to be killing stuff all the time, right? So then you're going to be able to howl even more often, healing yourself even more often. Now also, boom, 20 spirit for Blood Howl, and you're going to be howling, like I said, all the time already. Get 1 point into that. So after you're here, a lot of people like Earth and Bulwark. I prefer to go ahead and wait on it. Early on in the game, we're only level 10 right here. You're going to be fine probably. So I don't think we need the safety at this point. Let's go ahead and bump up our Shred damage with this right here. We put 2 points into that, and now we're down to the companion tree. There are other things. You could go Predatory Instinct, because you're going to be close to enemies all the time because you're using Shred, right? And because you're using Storm Strike up here. But that's something I'm going to come back to later. Along with Earth and Bulwark, I'm probably going to come back to later as well. Now, once we're down to the companions, as soon as you can, get yourself Poison Creeper. This poison damage is insane. And it immobilizes everything for 2 seconds. That's the active skill. On top of that, it has a passive skill as well, where it deals poison damage, just kind of randomly going around, popping up and biting things. When you get one into that, come up to Enhanced Poison Creeper. You immobilize duration for another second, which is cool, but you really want to get over to here, where the Poison Creeper's active poison duration increased by 3 seconds. So it went from 2 seconds, adding 3 on top of it, so 5 seconds, essentially more than doubling the damage. 150% damage increase, essentially. So that's going to be better, I believe, than this critical strike chance increased by 20% against enemies that are strangled by Poison Creeper. You can just deal more 150% increased damage. That's a huge amount of damage. Now we're part of the way down to the next skill tree, so here's where we're going to want to bump things up. We do have Shred there at 3, but what I'd prefer to do is, now that we have this Poison Creeper, let's get the damage even higher on that. 1 point into that, 1 point into that. So we have a level 3 Poison Creeper at this point, and we're moving down to the shape-shifting skills, and we're going with Trample. So trampling, this is where we're turning now into the werebear form, and You become unstoppable, charge forward, 75% damage, knocking everything back. So you charge right in the middle of the packs. The enemies who are knocked back into terrain also take damage. So if you block them into the wall or something, boom, they take extra damage and get stunned. And this gets super crazy once you do enhanced trample. The next one right here, 150% enhanced damage to the first thing that you hit. So if you're going against one elite or a boss, that's insane. And you get 50% extra damage, or the bonus is reduced, excuse me, by 50% for each enemy you hit after the first. Absolutely crazy. Trample 1 point into enhanced trample. Now here's another way that we keep up our spirit. So you're going to charge in, gain 20 spirit by having trample. Once you're in the middle, you can't cast Blood Howl. You get 20% spirit there. Like, it's just one on top of another, gaining spirit from each one of these skills that you get. So you can either pump up trample, you can pump up the poison creeper, or shred. Since I just love the shred. Shred coming in, slapping everything. We're going to pump 2 points in the shred right there. I love the speed of it. We still have a few to go down to the next one. So let's go ahead and bring trample up a little bit more with 2 points. So now we got level 3 poison creeper and trample, and we're down to the earth skills. Now on the earth skills, which one do you want to pick? I'm going to recommend just go ahead and don't really pick any of them. Some of these passives over here we are going to end up using, but go ahead and just pump up trample and get your poison creeper up to the max there, because those are going to be absolutely insane damage. Those are going to be the damage ones you're going to be using. Now we haven't done a ton of safety stuff here, and we're going to finally, in my opinion, going to go into that with this earthen bulwark. Go ahead and pop a point into that. Rocks around you for 3 seconds, granting you the barrier. But then come up here and put your next point into make earthen bulwark makes you unstoppable for the duration, which is 3 seconds. Now the next one you're going to come up here, earthen bulwark gives you 18% base life as fortitude. So bam, that is a nice little bit of safety right there. You can go ahead and use, and boom, you're popping unstoppable instantly when you go ahead and hammer that. Now we're still a couple skills before getting down to the ultimate, and you could go with something like clarity. If we want to keep our mana up here, we're at level 30. You might have wanted to put a couple points into this even earlier perhaps, but this is where I'm going to go ahead and do it now. So I just pumped 3 points into that. 6 spirit every time you transform. We're going werebear, werewolf, human, back to werewolf, back to human, werebear again, werewolf again. You're transforming all the time, and you're going to be getting spirit all the time to keep that up. Now we're able to get down to the next one here. With this particular build, there's a couple ways you could go. This Earth Sign Strength, 20% increase maximum life while you're in werebear form, and then it continues for 3 seconds afterwards. So when you charge in with trample, then for the next 3 seconds, you'll have 20% increased life. And while healthy, you also will deal 30% increased damage. Or there is also Lupine Ferocity. This one doesn't sound as good though, so I wouldn't necessarily choose it. But I'm going to go with a Bestial Rampage. So when you're in the werewolf form, 2.5 seconds, you gain 20% attack speed for 15 seconds after that. So when you're going ahead and using shred, I mean, 2.5 seconds, you're going to be doing that all the time. You're going to be howl for a second, then you're going to shred. You're going to get that 20% increased attack speed. It's going to be on all the time. Now the werebear one, less likely to be on all the time because you're only going to be trampling in. The odds of you having it up for 2.5 seconds, maybe here or there, or if you end up picking up a different skill somewhere else you want to use, maybe you'll be using pulverize or something like that along the way. If you would like to, you could get that, but I decided to go with this kind of just for the increase of speed there, and I don't really like the Lupine Ferocity. This doesn't sound all that great in my opinion. So now that we're here, we have a ton of points left, and all of our skills pretty much are maxed out, dealing their max damage. So now we're going to pump into a lot of the like secondary stuff around here, such as Predatory Instinct. Close enemies increase damage by 2% when they're on the critical strikes. Pump 3 into that. And then down here, Quick Shift. When a shape-shifting skill transforms you into a different form, it deals 5% increased damage. So we'll go ahead and pump that up because we're shape-shifting all the time. Now, one that I really like to get here, hit one in the Neurotoxin, which is good. They're slowed by 8%, but I like getting over to poisoned enemies take 10% additional critical strike damage. So pumping 3 into that because you're hitting everything. Every pack you're going to hit with Poison Creeper, and it poisons everything. And then you're going to be flying around. It's poison for 5 seconds. Then you're flying around with Shred, hitting everything. And you're getting those critical strike hits, and you're going to getting 30% additional damage on top of that. Now, because you're dashing around, really the gaining the movement speed isn't going to be as important since we're using Shred all the time. Like I said, flying around. And we're not really in werebear form a lot, but for 3 seconds afterwards, we're getting damage reduction. And we're pretty much going to be trampling into every pack. Trample in, then go ahead and shred. And for that time while we're shredding, we'll pump that up. We're getting a next 9%, so we'll just call it 10, round it out. 10% damage reduction for 3 seconds while we're flying around in there. Now we still, we're only at 48. We got 11, they're giving us 11 more points up here to go ahead and put in here. So we're going Ancestral Fortitude, increase your non-physical resistance, and pumping up some more survivability here. Vigilance, you gain 5% damage reduction for 6 seconds after using a defensive skill. Like I said, this blood howl we're going to be using all the time. You're going to be slapping on Earth and Bulwarks. So this is going to be up a ton. And now because we still got extra points, we're still pumping up the survivability here upon shapeshifting into werewolf or werebear. Max that out. Heightened senses, gain 12% damage reduction against elites, and you're going to be fighting elites all the time. That's going to get more experience and hopefully better drops, right? And with a couple extra points, natural fortitude over here, why not? We're getting 3% fortify for base life. I just put 2 points into that. So when you get that up to rank 3, it'd probably be 5% of your base life every time you shapeshift. So that's another one. Help out safety, safety, safety. And later on, the safety, you know, it's going to be a lot more dangerous when you get into harder content. So this build really has a ton of speed with Shred, a ton of safety with all the stuff going on, and really like the Poison Creeper and Trample and Shred, you're dealing quite a bit of damage as well. I really think even though this was a weaker one from the earlier betas, and then into the Server Slam beta, and then into the full release, this is going to be a very powerful character. Now, I'm only going to point out like the most specific aspects that you can go get from a dungeon, not ones that you're going to have to try to get super lucky and drop, because that might not happen for you, but you can go and get this Storm Claws aspect. Critical strikes with Shred deal 20 to 30% of the damage dealt as lightning damage to the target and surrounding enemies, and you can get this from Annika's Claim in the Fractured Peak. So go ahead and get this one and slap it on. I did click on the weapon right here, but you can put it on gloves, offhand, rings, amulets, kind of your choice, dealer's choice right there. But yeah, go ahead and get this one and put it on somewhere, because it literally adds area of effect to your Shred. Now, a quick shirt change, but this is so important. I wanted to come back. I realized that this one that I overlooked and wanted to mention when I was editing, this aspect of the Umbral. Now, restore 1 to 4 of your primary resource when you crowd control an enemy. You unlock it at the champion's demise in the dry step. And this can be important to get. You have to put it on a ring, but getting extra resource, when you pop out that Poison Creeper, you're immobilizing everything. You're crowd controlling them. So you're getting 1 to 4 resource per each one. So even if you can get the 1 on it, that's going to be, you know, you're hitting 10 or 15. That's 10 or 15 extra resource you're going to get, boom, instantly. So you rampage in for 20. You pop the Howl for 20. You hit this aspect right here. You're restoring your primal resource with the Poison Creeper. There's another 10 or 20. You're pretty much filling up your entire resource bar every time you start a battle. Another one that could be really great to get is right here, Night Howler's aspect. Blood Howl, which you're going to be using all the time, increases critical strike chance by 5 to 10%. In addition, Blood Howl affects nearby companions and players for 3 seconds. So it's even going to be helping out the players on your team get critical strike chances. So this one you get in the Forbidden City, in the Fractured Peak once again, and kind of, like I said, dealer's choice once again. Figure out the right spot that works for you, where you're going to plug this aspect on it. Another very nice one for this build. All right, and another thing it's important for me to note here is the Spirit Boons. It's kind of like the specialty skill stuff on the Druid. Now, the quest will just automatically become available to you at level 15. And then after you get past Act 1, you can eventually go and do it. And these are the ones that I would prefer to do. You can look through all these other ones if you would like to when you get around to it. The way these work is you can pick 1 from each line, essentially, and then 1 line you can pick 2 from. So first off, I went with Wariness, so take 10% damage reduced from elites. It seemed like the best one in this row right here. Actually, for the second row, the Eagle, I picked 2 here, so gaining 10% attack speed and 30% extra critical strike damage. So I'm hoping that those will help out increase the damage even further on this particular build, especially with that Shred attacking so fast already. Now we're coming down to Bolster here in the Wolf row right here. Fortify for 10% of your max life whenever you use a defensive skill. And remember, we got the Earth and Bulwark, and we have the Blood Howls. There's 2 different ones, so we should be getting Fortify semi-regularly here. Then down under the Snake, down on this one, we got Masochistic. Critical strikes when shape-shifting skills heal you for 3% of your max life. So pumping up, get some more survivability there, just essentially leeching life back every time you get one of those critical strikes. And I do want to make sure I point this out for every build. Actually, for the Druid, Willpower is the one that increases your skill damage. So on the rogue, it was dexterity. Barb, it's going to be strength. So willpower is the one that you're going to want to look at, what people refer to as the main stat here. I'm the kind of person that the best defense is a good offense, increase your damage. So generally I'm going to go for try to find on gear or try to re-roll different stats on gear in order to get more willpower to kind of increase your damage that way. So yeah, this shred build is so fun in my opinion. I would really implore you to try it out. I know a lot of people are going with the pulverized build, and I don't blame you. It looks pretty cool. Like I said, I didn't feel like it was as powerful as I would really like it to be until you got the certain legendary aspects later on that you can't farm from dungeons. You have to just find the item. But Shred, I just had so much fun time zipping around. So if you try the build, let me know, or anything you would like to change on the build, maybe your own flavor, let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe up before you go so you never miss any of the future Diablo 4 content. Peace out, fellas, and keep slaying.